What is going on, guys? Wings of Hope, Sid, and your boy Cash Bryant here to explain to you all the nice and fancy stuff about Sid. You probably just got a Sid. Maybe you watch my guide, maybe you watch another guide, and you're like, let me get my first Sid, and now you got this son of a bitch, and you're like, hey, what does he do? Alright, so I wanted to give you guys a great insight on this guy, this admin hero, one of the harder dungeons, and once you get him, kind of like, so what do I do with him? I finally beat it. Everyone says he's good, and I don't really know. So let's go through it slowly, piece by piece. I like to do as much analyticals as possible. And then I'll run them through a dungeon to show you why I use the build that I use, right? Easy peasy. First, we're gonna start off with the S1. Inflicts damage, which we don't give a damn about, and restores 5% health. Now, what's really important here is the 100% to chance to remove one debuff on the target that is healed from the 5%. This goes up to 10% when you max it out. Really good. Actually, I really feel like doing this based on my build. I have a high multi-strike build, and 10% every time he's autoing, and you know, every time would be really great. So that is his solo. So when you need to, if you're looking at your team and you see that someone is low on health and they have a debuff, you want to auto. You actually mostly want to auto anyway, and I'll show you why later. Alright, so his S2 decreases an allies and 2 adjacent allies skill cooldowns by 1 turn and restores 20% HP. This goes up to, only stays 1 turn. I thought it went up to 2. Rip. Alright, I know it's alt does, but and then heals for 40. So I actually would say, so far, I'm definitely maxing the 1, right? This only goes up in health, does not go, the cooldown does not go down. This skill cooldown doesn't go down. Careful, some moves actually go down in skill cooldown. Very few though, from what I've seen. This move is really good, and what you use it for obviously is to heal and to get cooldowns up on units. Even if they're like full health, maybe you don't need to use your S1 to heal, to remove any debuffs. Everyone's kind of clear, in the clear. Reduce some people's cooldowns, especially if you're aware of your teammates' cooldowns, your allies' cooldowns. Oh, maybe I need something to be up next turn. Like if you want to spam it to get revive up or something like that, or your reviver, or you need your buffer to get their buff. They need to have it next turn. Just make sure that you're, boom, let me give them the blessed feather. Let me give them some of that blessed feather, brother. All right, so and lastly is his S3, revives 1 ally and restores 40% of their health and decreases the target's cooldowns by 1. This actually goes up to 2 allies and it also takes their cooldowns by 2 turns. Really good, restores 70% of HP at max skill. Now, obviously, most people will say just to get this, and I will have to agree. This is very underwhelming because the heal does not go up, right? I mean, the heal only goes up. If the cooldown went up to 2, I would definitely want to use this more and spam it more often, but it doesn't. So that's just how that is. But this one, you get 2 allies, so it's a super oh shit button, and restores a lot of health when they do come back. And a nice little bonus is that their cooldowns are a little bit lower, which is great because your cooldowns do not go when you're dead, because that would be broken. You use a revive, something's dead for a long time, and then you come back and it's like, oh, all my cooldowns are maxed. I've been dead for like 5 turns. So yeah, that is his base kit. And if you're maxing, I would definitely say 3-1-2 is what I'm pretty much gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna get enough Sids to actually max out everything, but I'm gonna be happy enough to say I'm definitely gonna be able to max 3 and 1. I'll probably max 1 first. I don't know. This would be smarter to max first because, you know, that's a lot of fodder that you have to raise up. This is definitely going to be last. Definitely your last priority on this. The leader skill is that he increases the HP recovery of wind and water, which is if you really need some healing. Most people, I feel like, don't take HP recovery bonuses, leader skills. Usually they take HP or some type of attack or another stat like multi-strike, counter-strike, usually when they're looking at leader skills. So, but you know, if you think that the only thing that's preventing you from winning, and HP recovery is usually really good if you have enough debuffs to take out poison, if there's a lot of poison in the dungeon or in the fight. So keep that in mind if you're using this. You might not want to use it if it's gonna cause you damage, pain, and suffering. Next, we have up his passive, Fluttering Feathers. 50% chance, this is when he's 6-star by the way, 50% chance to acquire 1 Fluttering Feather when using a skill. And again, this is the most important part right here. Oh, well, let me finish reading it, right? 30% chance to grant damage immunity to an ally with the lowest HP, excluding himself, at the start of the turn for 1 turn. So this is nice because 30% chance randomly. Sometimes you have to double check, by the way. The unit on his turn will get damage immunity outside of himself. really good. Make sure that you're paying attention to that, especially if you're thinking about damage, mental seal stuff. Mental seal does not override damage immunity, so you can attack for free with damage immunity on you. It's perfectly fine. So that's good if he puts this on someone that's low, which might be your tank, it might be an attacker, and then they'll actually be able to attack or use a skill or heal, whoever it's on. Just be in mindful to look out for that when you have Sid on your team. And then here, consumes all fluttering feathers to grant a shield equal to 30% of HP to all allies for 2 turns if there are 3 or more. I don't even know why they put more. I guess they just in case the game glitches, it will still work. I would actually love if you can get more than 3 feathers, because if you can get more than 3, that means you can stack them and then you can get a shield like almost every turn. And this is another thing that I don't think anyone has said, that you only multi-strike on moves that strike. You will never see him multi-strike after this, and you will never see him multi-strike after this. I've learned this with Rue, and I've noticed for pretty much any of my supports. They never heal or do anything like that and then auto attack after that. Even if they have crazy multi-strike chance, they just don't do it. It's not built into the game from as far as I can see. So if you want to multi-strike with Sid, you have to auto attack. You have to use this S1. I call it auto because it's the first thing that you do. So yes, you have to auto attack. And that is why I mostly auto attack. This is why I want to max this first possibly, and then maybe max this, because I use this a billion times more throughout the course of the fight than I'll ever have to use this. If you're doing this, and this, all this fun stuff really good, you probably don't even need this. You barely will ever have to revive. And then when you do revive it, 1 person is usually fine. But like I said, you can definitely level this up for the oh shit button effect. Because you should be shielding, you should be giving damage immunity, you should be healing, you should be debuffing, you should be healing, and also taking buff. Like you should, no one really should die when this guy's up. So that's just how it works, you know, that's what it is. And then when you unlock it, you get the Willful Wing, and he gets 3 feathers at the start of the wave. So that means as soon as the wave starts, he's going to be able, once his turn actually comes. So you could actually, if you want to rune him very speedy, I don't know how fast you can get him to he'll actually get to go first. Just keep that in mind. But he can, once his turn actually does come, he will give everyone a lovely shield when he's 60 passive, which is really good. He also has a revive. He will revive at 10% HP upon death. Separate thing. Also grants, this is really big, grants damage immunity to all allies for 1 turn and increases all allies' critical strike chance by 30% and their attack for 1 turn when 1 person's HP drops below 30%. You want to delay this as long as critically possible, or you can save it and purposely try to trigger it, or purposely let someone get hurt when you're trying to burst something. Critical strike chance goes up by 30, and so does the attack. He's really good on attack teams because of that, because all of a sudden you get 2 buffs. No, you get 3 buffs if we're talking Christian here, right? You get 3 buffs when Sid is on your team, when someone gets below 30. I try to delay this as long as possible, as physically possible, until I need to burst a snake or a clone or whatever like that. So that is Sid, and like I said, he gets a 50% chance to acquire feathers, so that's why I have him on multi-encounter. I want him to auto attack and use a skill as much as possible, and that is the only way you're gonna get that is by counter striking and multi-striking. I don't care if he's in Sid's dungeon, he does not die. I keep him abnormal status immunity most of the time, so he will very likely not have to worry about that. And what's cool is that since he's countering and the other units don't, he will actually cleanse other people's mental seals, their poisons and stuff like that when they get hit by AoE attacks. So like that's really, really good. And I will show you guys my build on him currently. My runes are actually, and most people would be like surprised, like wait, you're running multi-strike, counter-strike, you're not running HP, you're not running defense. I could run that, no doubt. But I like him using his skill set more than him just being slightly more tanky, if that makes any sense to you. I feel like supports in general should be based on around their kit, to utilize their kit as much as possible. If their kit is about surviving, the longer they survive, then great. But I feel like most supports are usually about maybe autoing, if not maybe countering, if not then maybe then just make them tanky. Karen, I think, is best just to be tanky. She doesn't really benefit too much from autoing. She benefits from staying alive and using turns and getting turns. That's what her main thing is. She doesn't cleanse anything when she counterattacks or multi-strikes. So this is my build currently, HP, triple HP on these two to make, you definitely need that, by the way. And here I got HP, so I wouldn't mind to have another HP here, but I'm going multi-strike. As you can see, I got 40% so far. Counter attack, multi-strike. I'm all about it, right? You can see counterattack, counterattack. I would go triple here if I could. Additional HP, he heals very little. As you can see, that is the only additional HP, 2.13, and it's 2.13 right there. Pretty fair, right? And then multi attack speed. I just got it attack speed because I said I do want his turn to come a little bit quicker. That's not a heavy investment into attack speed. I could get more. I would love to get more if the runes bless it. My hero talent build is gonna be counter strike because that's me personally. I could multi strike, you know, whatever you prefer. I want counter because I get hit. I want to debuff stuff. Me specifically, that's how I'm running mine. Multi-strike is just as good. My multi-strike is higher. Multi-strike is easier to get stat-wise than counter-strike is. So I'd rather get what's harder to get counter stat-wise than to go for something that's, I'm getting what, 20 I think from the rune bonus already. And then if I were to get his last purple star, he get another 10 I think, or 20, I don't remember. So that's very easy to get multi-strike. Counter attack is harder to get. Defense here, what is this? Brand on my S2. I'm not even gonna S2. So right here it's just I just rather go defense. Elemental defense is only gonna make it an even bet if he's fighting fire. He won't take any additional damage. That's kind of what you would do the elemental one. That's if you're bringing him into a elemental disadvantage, which most people probably won't. But since you're gonna use it in like everything, why not? Weaken attack on the S1, most people go for that because they don't care about the damage in arena or to bosses. Makes sense. Grants a shield when he gets attacked. More defensive bullshit. And again, why do you want attack increase or elemental damage increase? Really not needed. Might as well go for the shield. This one, damage taken from bosses, or you can go arena if you want to survive an arena. This one is also not that bad. 10% chance to recover all allies HP by 10% when attacked. My only issue here is that one, it's only 10%. Two, he has to be attacked, and a lot of other things will be taking aggro precedence over Sid. So he won't get attacked that often, so this won't even have that much chance to proc. But I have seen it work. It's nice that it's an AoE heal. Everyone gets a heal when he gets attacked, so that's kind of cool. And with my build, it wouldn't be too bad. I would test it, but the RNG BS, I can't deal with 3 and I can't deal with 6%. I would need a 3%. 3-star for that to use it. But see, this is automatically good. Less damage taken from bosses, automatically good. All the time, good all the time. And then boom, there goes to 60. I don't know if there's anything else. Everything else is just this. What is it? See, 10% more multi-strike. Beautiful. And 20% more attack, which I don't really care about, but I would do it for the extra 10. It's just that the resources for it makes it that I'd rather get someone else that needs all 6 purple stars than to just give it to him, right? That's how we're gonna think about that. Sorry. As you can see, my multi-strike is 45 and my counterattack is 55. And most people will tell you, oh, you can't do that and shit. It's just a bad idea. It's fine. You have to keep in mind that the only thing in Sid's dungeon, and I just released a video, is as in depth as possible. You just need immunity. If you're gonna run counterattack, or you have units that counterattack, and counterattack is beautiful in a dungeon where they swarm you. It's great. Because every time they attack, you have a chance to do damage. And damage is definitely an oversight in most people's dungeons, and that's why their dungeon runs fail. Because they're taking so much damage and doing absolutely no damage in return. Hence, the dungeon lasts longer, hence you end up dying. So like, this is why I'm doing this. I want him to attack and do as much damage as possible, meanwhile utilizing his kit. So this is I'm gonna show you guys real quick. All right, here we go. I'm bringing Sid by himself into the Evo dungeon. Because why not? I just want to show you guys how his kit kind of works, and just to show you some good. I could do a dungeon, really crazy dungeon, but I just want to have him by himself to show. So as you can see here, it starts off, he gets his shield automatically. Now mine is high multi-strike, so you will see him multi-strike a decent amount of time and counter when he can. He can't counter hidden units. Look at him shielding up everything. Shielding up, having a good time. Now boom, as you can see here, I have no stacks, but I'm going to try my best to get as many stacks as possible. Please don't make me a fanatic. They're taking no damage. So this is perfect, actually. I thought it would be like kind of scary to have him here by himself. Boom, I got 2 feathers. Still 2. Still hoping to get more, right? Because you want that as much. But as the round starts, this is a new start of the wave. I got 3 automatically. And that's a good healthy shield. Now, some people will bait for the shield. They don't really care how often it comes up. They won't multi-strike. They can raise more HP to make sure that the shield is more tanky. That's another option. We're never gonna see this. Sorry, I mean. But this is pretty much I hope you weren't expecting something fantastic. It's a support unit. But that's how I use this guy, keeping his shields up as much as possible. Multi-strike, counter-strike, there goes a counterattack. It's about 50. What? This guy's have like so many buffs. Like it's crazy, like they're not even attacking me. I'm trying to have them attack me. Maybe I should just defend. Attack, counter-attack, beautiful. Attack, counter-attack, beautiful. And that's just pretty much how he works. Like he just like, at least that's how my Sid works. Let me know in the comment section of how you run your Sid. Do you have him more bulky? You want him to stay alive more? Do you want him to, like, what are you aiming? And that's what I feel like, that's the challenge that I want to ask people when they're building these units. You should have a game plan for where this character is going to be used, where, and what you want them to do when they're there. Regardless of the unit. Like, because I know a lot of people like Tayo is a huge debate. There's like 3 different ways to build Tayo. All great ways based on the runes. You want to pretty much do the best build you can with the rune set that you have, right? So same thing with Sid. I had great multi and great counter attack build, and I wanted to test this build. If this build didn't work, I would have just put it on another support that I wanted to try that on, and then gave him tanky stuff. But he stays alive a decent amount. He keeps the shield up to keep everyone else alive, including himself. And I found that build works phenomenally. If you don't think so, check out my Sid run. He's definitely in there. He doesn't die that often, and the only time he will die is if I take a risk attacking with Mental Seal, thinking that, oh, you know, maybe he'll survive. Or maybe he needs to debuff someone. It's a priority. He's not low enough, someone else is low. I need him to debuff the other person so they have a turns to go. That's kind of how I look at it, and you guys are going to look at it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about, oh boy, Sid. And let me just show you guys, I guess his animations and stuff. And that's gonna be the end of the video. And if you guys are looking for more character analysis like this, I try to bring out the best in the character, explain everything that I do, same thing with the Tayo guide. Let me know, actually, what you guys, maybe another character. I wanted to do Cynthia. Doc did a good job on explaining Cynthia. I was gonna do Cynthia as well. I think, what else did I want to do? I should do Jess. Jess is like one of my favorite SR units that I'll never build, unfortunately. But he is a really good kid. I would love to explain Jess, but I fed all of my Jesses, so I can't do him anymore. He's a good unit, I promise.